What's up, Speedway fans? We are back once again, and in today's video I will be showing you around one of the UK's best speedway facilities. If you're new here, be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. If you could click that thumbs up button as well, it would be amazing, as it really helps me and the growth of the channel. But if you've already clicked both, then let's get into the video. As I'm sure you can see by the beautiful Manchester City skyline in the background and the Etihad Stadium behind the trees, I have been in Manchester at the National Speedway Stadium, the home of the Belle Vue Aces. After we arrived at Manchester and parked in the stadium, we walked around the corner to the nearest place to grab a drink outside of the site itself. The Longsight and District Sports and Social Club is legendary amongst Speedway fans. The venue itself is your average social club, except it's decked out from top to bottom with Speedway and in particular Belle Vue memorabilia. The lady behind the bar said that endless Belle Vue names have visited the club, and Peter Collins had actually been in on the previous evening. Just remember that the venue doesn't take card, so make sure you have cash in your pocket. Not that you need a lot, because the place is super cheap. I know it's one of Jamie Seeley's favourite places to go and grab a beer, so I FaceTimed him, sank a Diet Coke, and then headed round to the venue.
So catch me if I fall.
So, why should a trip to the National Speedway Stadium be at the top of any British fan's list? Well, the most obvious factor will be the world-renowned circuit designed by Chris Morton. Whilst most tracks are built to fit in with the existing infrastructure of a stadium, the National Speedway Stadium was designed around the track itself, meaning the properties of the circuit were not constricted by the stadium or its architecture. The 347-metre track was designed to mimic the characteristics of some of the best tracks in Europe, something that's paid dividends when it comes to action for the spectators in attendance. Next month, the NSS will host Grand Prix Speedway for the first time, and due to the removal of Cardiff from the calendar, 2 dates have been allocated, meaning Belle Vue will be able to host in excess of 16,000 people over 2 days in June. Although the Saturday is sold out, there's still a few hundred tickets available for the Friday night, so if you haven't done so already, be sure to get your tickets as soon as possible, because it's likely that both days at the stadium will be at full capacity. Whether it's for a league meeting or international speedway racing, the NSS has a very special charm. Even when every seat is taken, the 1,800-seat home straight grandstand only has a depth of 12 rows, meaning that even if you're in the furthest seat back, you're never going to be disconnected from the action, and you can feel every single bit of the blistering speed of the bikes. If you compare this to other iconic tracks around the continent, the Wrocław home straight grandstand has 27 rows, and Torun has 22, with 10 on the bottom tier and 12 on the top tier. So wherever you sit in the NSS, you're guaranteed to have a view comparable to the best seats at some of the best stadiums in Poland. If you get out your imaginary mixing bowl, pour in one of the best tracks in the world, the 16 fastest riders on the planet at the moment in one evening, and a stadium full of trackside seats, you have the perfect storm for one of the best World Championship Speedway spectacles on the calendar. The National Speedway Stadium boasts 2 disabled access viewing platforms, meaning that regardless of your condition, you're able to enjoy the racing in comfort. Many of you will know that my good friend Alex is confined to a wheelchair, yet he was able to sit up with me in my DJ console at the Speedway of Nations in 2024. Where the stadium is much more modern than most of its UK rivals, there's 2 lifts, giving disabled visitors the opportunity to have a view like they're not used to at Speedway, from the very top. When it comes to hospitality, Belle Vue leads the way in the United Kingdom with their state-of-the-art Peter Craven Suite. The Peter Craven Suite is an enormous, air-conditioned open space with panoramic views of the circuit. If you're looking for a little bit more comfort in the warm, then your best bet is to join the 1928 Club. The 1928 Club allows you to have access to the Peter Craven Suite throughout the meeting on race nights without having to opt in for a sit-down meal. But if you do fancy a bit of food before the action begins and you're only attending as a visiting fan, the best option for you is to get a hospitality pass. A hospitality pass is an additional £13.95, but includes a sit-down meal and access to the Peter Craven Suite throughout the meeting. If you don't have a hospitality pass, you're only able to access the Peter Craven Suite after heat number 10. The National Speedway Stadium also has a range of VIP and sponsorship packages available. So if you'd like to go the whole hog, then head on over to the Belle Vue website, the link is in the description below. Round the back of the stadium, you can find the South Stand, and if you're really lucky, you may even bump into my mate Fred selling tickets for the 50-50 draw. The South Stand does have its own toilet facilities, so you won't have to make your way round to the main grandstand to take a leak. Don't worry, the gates weren't open when I filmed in here. There was no risk of finding an unsuspecting Aces fan holding their sausage. There's also a bar and catering facilities behind the South Stand, of course, selling the iconic Belle Vue Aces beer. My first impression of the South Stand was that it was much bigger than it looks on TV. I didn't get a chance to watch any of the racing from over there, but I'm sure the sound of the bikes will echo round this metallic structure, giving fans the ultimate speedway audio experience. Outside of my DJ sets, of course. I was also surprised at just how close to the track you can actually stand. So if you have tickets for the sold-out South Stand at either of the Speedway Grand Prix of Manchester, get there early, because you may have the opportunity to stand right at the front. The meeting itself was spectacular from start to finish. The weather was beautiful, the track looked immaculate, and the most important factor, in my opinion anyway, every single rider wanted it. Everybody will argue and argue until they're blue in the face about what makes a good speedway meeting, but I honestly believe that the biggest factor is when the riders really want to win. It was so encouraging to see all of the boys giving it 100%. There was 8 or 9 riders who were capable on the night of banking the wildcard, and that's on top of Robert Lambert and Dan Bewley. And the final itself, wow, it may be the best race I've ever seen live. I mean, it comes close to when Bomber won at Cardiff. It was always going to be a shootout between Lambert and Bewley, but what an amazing display of heart from Bomber and Charles Wright. Bomber went into the final lap leading the race, having passed both the Speedway Grand Prix superstars. And going down the back straight on the 4th lap, any of the 4 riders could have crossed the line in first or last. It was absolutely breathtaking. It just feels like the prestige has come back to becoming British champion. When you have the world number 2 coming over from Poland with the intention of winning it at all costs, you know there's value to the trophy. This will be my 5th season working in British Speedway, but this is my first time away from the decks. I was lucky enough to get full access throughout the meeting, and honestly, it's a perspective I've never experienced before. I've spent time in the pits before a meeting and throughout the qualifiers of a Speedway Grand Prix, but to be amongst the action of the British final during the meeting was easily one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. The vibe in the pits completely transforms as soon as the riders are pushed off heat number 1. And it's really interesting to just watch the riders, mechanics, and even officials operate throughout the meeting. I could talk for hours about how different the characteristics were from rider to rider and pit bay to pit bay, but I'll save that for a video idea I have in the future. I'd like to say a huge thank you to everybody at the National Speedway Stadium. As I said in my Facebook message, I am very new to YouTube, and the welcome reception I received from everybody exceeded all of my expectations. I have a few simple objectives: see as much Speedway as possible, meet as many people who share the same passion as me, and try to tell as many Speedway stories as possible through my own positive and grateful words. This was the first time that I've had people coming up to me all evening talking about the channel, and I'm so pleased that you guys are enjoying it. I have so many ideas, and as the channel grows, the more opportunities will come into fruition, meaning that I can create bigger and much better videos. So make sure you're subscribed, clicking that thumbs up button and sticking a nice comment in the comment section below. The more engagement, the more people see the video. The more people see the video, the bigger the channel grows. The bigger the channel grows, the more time and effort I can give to Speedway. Thank you guys so much for watching. On to Warsaw this weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.